The Mike Hosking Breakfast, 6 to 9 weekdays on Newstalk ZB.
G'day there, just back to the review of the last election result we mentioned this week from the Political Brains Trust at the Victoria University. Just to remind you, they analysed our votes, our issues, our voting intentions, and as a result, what sort of mandate they thought the current government had. Now, my point was, they overthought the whole exercise, given we only have one vote and it doesn't specifically buy a lot or guarantee any sort of outcome or even influence. So it is on that note I ask you this very simple question. If and when Labor get back to power, they're going to need most likely not just the Greens but the Māori Party. And it's the Māori Party that will potentially lead to a flurry of analysis and a lot of hard questions I'm not sure anyone's even thought about yet. So the Māori Party, of course, are radicals. When the police raided the mongrel mob the other day in Opotiki, Rawiri Waititi called it terrorism driven by a race agenda. How do the Labour Party live with that? How do they explain it? How do they justify being in government with that? The Māori Party, to their credit, I think are long-termers, given Waititi seems to have a lock on his seat, and that's far more reliable than the 5%, which they will never get because they are, of course, radicals. They are single-issue zealots. But democracy allows this if you can find 5% to agree with you, or a seat where that sort of rhetoric sells, and Waititi seems to have such a seat. So when you vote for Labor or for the Greens, do you think about a government, a grouping that has the Māori radical element in it? And if you do, what do you think that will lead to? Well, if the Māori Party have the New Zealand First card, for example, the balance of power, you can't form a government without them. What do you think their price for that will be? How radical do you think that will be? When the politics wonks at Victoria University get to analyse that, their heads will explode. What you thought you were voting for and what you got will be unrecognisable. And yet, in 2026, it's possible. In 2029, it might even be likely.
The Mike Hosking Breakfast, 6 to 9 weekdays on Newstalk ZB.